I'd like to welcome back all of our listeners to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. And along with my three exuberant sons, Kellen, Gary, and Gannon, I am Todd Fox. And the four of us make up the Foxx Den. Today, we're gonna do something little different. This podcast is gonna be a movie edition. So we do like to talk about sports. We do like to talk about food. We do like to talk about movies, TV shows, and so forth. And this past week, Garrett and Gannon and myself and Garrett's wife, Kelly, all went to see the movie Oppenheimer. And I know Kellen, he said he'd be a little bit late in order to get there, but because he lives in Atlanta, so he was unable to attend. But you did see it as well, right? A couple of days later?
Yeah.
So let's just shoot it off because I thought it was a very good movie. If it's long, not going to lie. We're driving to the movie. Garrett, tell the folks we're driving to the movie. What happened? What transpired?
Well, I don't know if I really get what you're putting down, but I had to make sure that Dad understood that there was like 3 different timelines going on in the movie because I knew
You told him
this
that
guy
beforehand?
Well, yeah. Can you imagine Dad trying to watch the movie like with 3 different pieces going around? And that's not a spoiler. That doesn't ruin anything. I just told him like, hey, you'll know like what is kind of the main storyline that you're following. When it's Robert Downey Jr. kind of in the court place, that is the like immediate current. And then whenever you got Oppenheimer in the like interrogation room, that's kind of like a couple weeks, maybe a couple months prior of.
No, that's a lot further prior.
Is it a lot further?
You can see, yeah, you can tell the difference him in that room and him when he gets that little award at the end of the movie. There's a major difference in his age.
Well, that's not the same.
That's almost 4 timelines. Because like,
I thought you're right, but the award is way after because look at
that's what I'm saying. But there was like 4,
Teller,
but like,
just think of what Teller looked like in the courtroom versus in that scene where he's getting the award.
I'm pretty sure the courtroom was a lot still later than the interrogation, but we need to read the book.
Anyways, yeah, that was the main thing on the way to the movie. I was like, okay, we got to know this. Got to tell him that.
And you also had to tell me how long it was.
Yeah, Dad had no idea it was 3 hours. Till I said it on the way. Started freaking out.
I had to work the next day, so I was tired.
Before we
Gannon wouldn't sit next to me, and I was like, "Yeah, what's going on with Gannon?" He's like, he said you asked too many questions during the movie, so he didn't want to sit next to you.
No, I just knew you'd ask questions, and I wouldn't know any better, so Gary could answer them for you.
Gary, you trying to throw him under the bus?
Pretty sure I said exactly what Gannon just said.
There was a little bit. No, you go. He doesn't want to sit by you because you asked too many questions. So there's a little beef with me and Gannon this week. You know, a little underlying we didn't know about. So now the truth is out, then we can get.
Gannon's been trying to figure out. He's like, why does Dad? Why when I get out of bed, Dad doesn't ask how I'm doing today?
Dad's grabbing an extra chimichanga before Gannon can get there. You know.
All right. So anyway, who wants to go first? Because I mean, I thought it was really good. I thought the casting was fantastic. We could talk about that later as well. But overall, it was a long movie. But I mean, it's weird to say, but it kind of went by pretty quick in a way. But for me personally, as a 54-year-old man that doesn't pay attention very well, it did get a little bit confusing to me a little bit. But and then you've seen it twice now, Garrett. So you said some things that you caught maybe the second time around. But anyway, go ahead.
I think Kellen's got something to say, but yes.
Okay.
I got a lot to say. First, like, just rate it 5 stars out of 5. What would you rate it?
5.
I would have to go probably 4.5. Only, even though it's a phenomenal movie, I think the only thing holding it back is it's not something I'm like as interested in some of my other favorite movies, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, like the Batman movies, some of Christopher Nolan's, this past one, something I'm very, very interested in, but also a phenomenal movie.
While I completely agree,
like
I think this is Christopher Nolan's best movie he's ever made.
Really?
Dark Knight? Yeah, like just quality. Everything. There's nothing wrong with it. To be fair, it was based on it was a true story. So, but like it was a perfect movie, perfect casting. Like Dark Knight's my favorite movie of all time. Still, like, still a 5-star in my opinion. But like, just because I'm not going to rewatch it all the time doesn't mean it's not a perfect movie. It's just
Well, also
it's
he
a
got
long
like
movie, and it's like it takes it out of you. Like it's a heavy movie, but it's like there was nothing you could have changed to make that better. I don't think.
he also got like 5 or 6 huge like all-time performances from some of the main actors, which is like, and like people like I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert, but like that could be Robert Downey Jr.'s best
1,000% it is.
So it's like
there's no
the fact
questions
that
asked.
he got that guy's best, and then all the like this guy, like there's just a list, and it's like everything just meshed perfectly, kind of like you
That's
were
what I'm
talking
saying.
about.
There wasn't a single actor that took you out of the scene. Like
Yeah,
all the acting was perfect. The zero CGI. Like I was curious to see, like, okay, will I be able to tell? There were scenes that you're like, okay, I can tell. Like this was like the opening when he's in school or whatever, and he's like can't sleep and he's seeing like all these images. You could tell that was not CGI because it was just whatever he did, the practical effects to get that to work. So that the story, like I saw a lot of people complain. They're like, this movie better not have multiple timelines going on like a classic Nolan movie. I don't think this movie would have worked without it. Imagine if they would have built that bomb in the first 45 minutes and you got it an hour and 45 or hour 15 or whatever of
A courtroom and an
2 hours,
interrogation
15
room.
minutes
Yeah.
of courtroom and interrogation. Like it would have been harder to watch shows just ongoing for 2 hours than
and also
it
it
was
like
splitting it up.
yeah, the timing of it was perfect because I would have lost track of what was going on or like what they were talking about.
Yeah. So a 5
Dad,
stars for me though.
did you rate it, Dad?
I gave it a 4.4, but I thought it was good. Oh yeah, but I mean, I did. I thought it was good. It just, I was I was a little confused at times because I'm like, what in the heck's going on? And personally, I think they could have done without some of the neckities that they had. We actually we talked about Callie going with us, and I would have been extremely embarrassed if she would have gone. But no, I mean, that's the only thing I think I would even think about, honestly, really even changing. I guess my thing is I was trying to figure out who was who a lot of the time, like the guy who was the professor next door to him during that time frame. I don't know I can't remember who that guy is. But he was really good. Which one was he? Man, is it Josh Harnett? I think is who that was. But man, I thought he did a really good job as well. But to me, the casting was perfect. Robbie Downey Jr., man, he did good. They had what's that guy's name from Friday Night Lights? Buddy Garrett was on it. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, that guy looks so familiar because he had this big old head of hair on Friday Night Lights. And he was one of the guys that were just kept on hammering away at Emily Blunt and Murphy. How do you say his first name? Killian?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, like, we're talking about all these other guys. That guy, like, he was fantastic. I know he's been in Peaky Blinders. I think he was a Scarecrow, and I know there's other movies he's been in. I can't think of them on the top of my head. He's always kind of one of these just a little off characters or whatever, and he played that perfectly. That guy made the movie. Him and Downey Jr. Between the two of them, I'm guessing. I mean, I don't ever really pay a whole lot of attention to all these awards ceremonies and all that. You know what I mean, like Academy Awards or anything like that. But if that doesn't win some kind of reward, that's crazy because that was so good. And Emily Blunt did fantastic as well.
Matt Damon too. We haven't even mentioned.
Yeah, I forgot about Matt Damon. Yes,
this
incredible.
I've seen. I mean, he's always great in everything I see him in, but this is one of the best acting. But it could be the type of movies I watch. Like it's usually action movies that I see him in, but his acting was insane. But yeah, like, Cillian Murphy, Christopher Nolan discovered him back in the day. He was just in some random projects. He discovered him. He asked him to come audition to be Bruce Wayne and Batman. Thought this not quite right, then decided to throw him in as Scarecrow. Used him in quite a few different projects, and now this is the first time he's taken the lead in like a big production movie, and he finally got a shot and he knocked it out of the park. Like I almost like when I see him, I see Scarecrow a lot. Part of it's because I'm a nerd, but in that one, like I think when I watch Dark Knight and Batman Begins, I'm gonna be seeing Oppenheimer, because it's like he was just in that character, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is his 5th or 6th Nolan movie, so that alone tells you how much of a different level he is compared to a lot of different actors out there, because Christopher Nolan doesn't call back like not good actors, as we've seen. So
You see the repeat actors are all usually just incredible.
is this Robert Downey's first one with Christopher? I don't
Yes.
remember him being in any
I mean,
others.
unless, I haven't seen him in anything else. Like, so this is the first time I've seen Robert Downey Jr. do something serious. I've seen him in like Tropic Thunder, Iron Man, Doctor Doolittle, or something like that.
The detective, like Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sherlock
you're right.
Holmes,
Sherlock
yeah.
Holmes. But like this, like at first I couldn't even believe it, because like you hear him like talking and you're like, that is an old man. Like
And that scene
it was insane.
when he's just about to get like exposed and just totally like casted away, basically, like that was incredible. He had like that 2-minute little part.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like it was just him, and it was like, oh man, it felt good.
And it's hard to see actors like that. It's hard to see them come back, and you're like that's part of the downside of people doing big Marvel movies for long periods of time. Like you see him as Iron Man.
Held up.
This one didn't even think about it. Like he was he was his character, and it was crazy. And I don't know, just Gary Oldman was in
Gary
it for
Oldman,
like
that's what I was
literally
gonna say,
3
man.
minutes.
I didn't even know he was Harry. I didn't know he was Truman. I had no idea.
It was insane. I could barely tell it was him. And I just knew it was him. When I saw it, I knew, because I was like, all right, he's been in Nolan movies. And
he's
it's just
played
crazy how
characters
Nolan
like
can
this
get
before.
those. What do you say?
He's played like those kind of characters before, like a ton of makeup to where you can't even tell it's him. But,
no, yeah, this isn't his first rodeo for sure.
He can play anybody.
Yeah,
it's just crazy that he got him to come literally 3 minutes of screen time, and then
I think it just puts like it's exactly what Matt Damon said. Like Matt Damon's obviously a huge actor too. Granted, like you said before, first time I think he's been in one, at least that I know of, but he was gonna like not necessarily retire, but take a pretty long break from acting just to kind of spend time with his family. But he's like told his wife, like, there's only, I'll do this, but only one catch is that if Christopher Nolan calls, like I gotta go. And then
he did.
So I think that just shows what kind of impact Nolan has on the industry. Like, he could probably call just about anybody he wants, and that guy's gonna do whatever role it is. Guy or girl will do whatever role it is for however long screen time it is. Either like they don't care.
It's
They just want to be a part of a great movie.
And people are going to love it, and people are going to talk about your acting for that one scene, because something about Nolan just brings the best out of everybody.
Sure.
Josh Peck.
Yeah, what the heck was that, dude?
The whole theater laughed when he popped up.
It seemed like a funny part after that, yeah.
But then he kept popping back up. Even Dane DeHaan, he was the Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2. He just played this creepy little military dude that you knew something was off about him.
And but he also did amazing.
No, he did. Like, you could tell something was off, and I was like, I don't know if it's just because he looks weird, but no, he was just playing this character. Like, you don't know what, but something's weird about him.
I'm looking through the list here. Go ahead. Sorry.
I would say, did you see whenever Nolan saw that people were wondering if he actually set off a nuclear bomb for the movie, and he was like, I'm like flattered but terrified at the same time.
Yeah, he's like, it's funny because you would think somebody like him wouldn't have a sense of humor with the movies he makes. But he was like, it's flattering, but it's also a little scary.
Yeah, to think that he would do that. Go ahead, Dad.
I see Ben Affleck's brother Casey was in it. Where was he at? It says he was Boris Pash. I don't remember who. I'd have to remember, like, I can't remember who that was.
It just had to be one of those scientists, I guess.
Ben Affleck was never in a Nolan movie, was he?
Not that I can think
none of those Batman movies. He
Yeah,
wasn't.
those are Bale. I know, but also don't forget, is it Tom Conti, Albert Einstein?
Oh,
that was sick.
that was
Like,
really good too.
Obviously, I've never seen film of the real Einstein, but like looks wise, I
Yep.
thought it was him.
Yeah.
Also, that scene whenever he walks by and like doesn't say a word, like you could tell something was there, but then you kind of forget about it pretty quick.
But
Like you
Robert
could
Downey
tell
Jr.'s
something was
character
off.
did not.
Well, yeah, but you could tell. Like I was like, well, that was weird. But like you didn't
Also-
think about it, yeah. And then it comes back to be like a pretty defining moment. That was just sick.
Casey was that general that's like safety general that Matt Damon's character was warning Oppenheimer about, like not to talk to.
Oh yeah,
That was him?
Like, yeah.
Huh.
I can kind of see it now, but he had a weird look to him for sure. One thing that's a way different than the actors, but like it's just something I loved about just like because it's a real story. So these people in general,
Yeah.
like Oppenheimer and Einstein, like two incredibly smart people, but they knew and they were scared of the consequences of what they were doing. Like Oppenheimer was building something crazy, and he's like he didn't even know if he should do it. He knew why he was doing it, didn't know if he should. Einstein was the same. This wasn't in the movie, but a quote of his was, he's like, I don't know what World War III will look like, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones, because he knew what the work they were doing, World War III is going to end the world as we know it. So it's just two guys that just knew the impact of what they were.
The only
they were
reason they
doing.
followed through with is because they
Somebody
knew
else
that
was
if
going to.
somebody else did it, they didn't have not necessarily much of a say, like as much power in what they did with it. Like in this
They were
one, trying to
hoping
get it
they were
before
hoping they were on the
Russia,
right side, and
Germany,
the right side was going to get it first.
yeah. So no, that's true.
And then Jason Clarke, though, when he's the guy that was doing the main interrogation, like by the end of the movie, just going at Oppenheimer and his wife, like terrifying, honestly.
Yeah, that's the guy. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's the guy that was in Friday Night Lights.
I remember him from like he was either in like a Terminator or a Planet of the Apes or something like that, or maybe both.
Yeah, he was in Planet of the Apes, Terminator, for sure.
He was like that one character that like I just couldn't stand him. But that's exactly what they needed in that spot.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't stand him at all.
Yeah.
He was just so annoying. Like the way he worded his questions and just like it seems so like
trying to set him up for failure.
Exactly. Yeah. And like that's exactly what was needed though.
I don't know. That was just one of the best well-made movies.
Ah,
and it's
I was
crazy
completely off. That's not the same guy.
Really?
Yep, but he looks exactly. So sorry to all the listeners that were sitting there going, "That's not right," but he looks just like him. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it's just like it's hard to know because, like, you could say it's a perfectly cast movie, but like Gary was saying earlier, like actors will just come out the woodworks to work with Nolan because they know of what he can produce. So it's like
Be part of that is just
Nolan just has this like I think he's the best director of our time. Like I have never seen theaters sold out the way this is. We have one of those special theaters close by. It's been sold out for 3 weeks. I've been trying to get tickets.
So is he going to do another one? I mean, I'm like another movie. Like, does he have any movies in the works at right now or anything that you know?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's got something in his head, but like I feel like you don't usually know about it until like a year.
Really?
Because when was Tenet? Tenet was
Did he do that?
Okay, that was 2020. I guess that was only 3 years ago.
That was like during COVID.
It was really good. It was probably the worst Nolan movie I've seen, but that's still a really good movie.
Still good, man.
Still, it's got like it's time travel kind of.
Yeah,
but it's might be a little advanced time travel for Pa, but it is. I mean, I've only seen it once, and it confused me. Like it was hard. It was hard to follow. So who knows? He could end up making something pretty soon. I didn't realize it was only 3 years, but also like it only took 50 days to film this movie.
Are you kidding
I
me?
believe. Let me double check.
Say that. Say that again.
It was either 50 or 90. I could be completely wrong.
What did
Hang
you
on.
say?
I thought
To
it took
make the
50 days
movie.
to film up.
It only took 50 days to film, which is crazy.
I mean, knowing him, he probably made them live at
Yeah.
Los Alamos or whatever and film it. I'm seeing that a lot of reports are saying he's always had an interest in making a Star Wars movie before he passes.
what?
I,
57 days is
different
how long it took to
world.
shoot.
I like Star Wars, but I don't know.
It could be cool, but like
It'd probably be the best Star Wars movie.
the more I think about it, though, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah,
I
you're
cannot. I just can't believe. Like after watching his movies the last few years, like I can't believe DC got him to come sign on for 3 superhero movies.
Yeah.
Granted, they did what they should have done for all their directors, gave him full control, and he just gave us absolute masterpieces
Also, kind of lucky he got Batman, except it suits perfectly.
for his style. I don't think he would have done something else. But
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
he is just the best director of our time.
Oh, I agree
I
100%.
would say.
Fantastic job.
But he said he's not going to do anything until like after this whole strike and stuff is finished. So nobody
Because
has
he
any
respects
idea.
it. No, so yeah, however long this lasts, but like people like him, he's constantly creating in his head. He might not be sitting there writing a script, but
He knows.
he's got ideas in there.
Kind of like Paul, you know, always got ideas in his head.
Yeah, I'm the guy who thought Friday Night Light guy was in there. That was messed up, but I apologize to the listeners. So, but no, we had a really good discussion on some movies that'll be out here very soon. I'm anxious to look at other movies that are coming up. I'm just not, for me to actually go to a movie, it's got to be a fairly big one, I guess, in a way, or because I usually just wait for it to come out on TV or television or HBO or Netflix or whatever it might be. That's just kind of how I do it. But we'll definitely do more podcasts regarding movies here soon. But I hope everybody remembers to stay safe. Right? What else?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
Be
Please stay
savage
safe.
and not average.
And remember to join the Skulk.
Until next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.